Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, all you amazing people out there. Just wanted to come to you on this Wednesday. We are getting close to the end of the year, only a few days away. And, let's wanted to kind of come talk to you guys a little bit about what we did for 2023 and what we're doing for 2024. Specifically talking about a reading list, right? Um, I really enjoy reading, learning new things, getting new perspectives. I read for a variety of reasons. Depending on my mood, sometimes I'm reading to learn something. Sometimes I'm just reading to relax, to get away, to you know, go on a mental adventure. Right. So, I want to come talk to you about the 2023 reading list that I had, and the 2024 reading list I have already started. There's just so many great books and stories and things out there. So I wanted to kind of hear it from you guys as well. What are you guys reading? What are you into? And what what does your 2023 reading list look like, and what does your 2024 reading list look like? Do you have it yet, or are you like me where you kind of just you pick a book or two and then just sort of develops throughout the years you go along, or do you actually sit down and actually plan it all out? Because there's a lot of great books out there, a lot of great reading lists out there. So I try to take a little bit from here and a little bit from there, and I bounced off my mood and all that stuff. So without further ado, I'm going to kind of read you off my list. It's not the full list, and it's in no particular order, but kind of the main books I read through 2023, and some of them include The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. Right, definitely a great book there. Highly recommend it. Just gives you that kind of new mindset, right? Um, you know, it kind of as the book says, right? It's focusing on the right things. Leonardo da Vinci by Walter Isaacson. That was a really good book. Is really sparking the creativity part, learning a lot about Da Vinci's life and kind of the things he went through and how he stayed creative. And actually, kind of you learn that other side of a lot of his failures and how he kind of got going. And definitely recommend, for those who are kind of hitting that lull spot and you're just kind of trying to get recreative and we all have that part where we're just like, man, I just don't feel like I'm getting it. So definitely recommend that book. Burn the Boats by Matt Higgins. Definitely like a good kind of strategy book when you're taking things on. The whole concept of you burn the boats behind you so you don't have a way out. So there's no escape plan. So you got to keep pushing forward. So definitely recommend that one. Five Dysfunctions of a Team by Patrick Lencioni. As the name suggests, right? Talking about the dynamics of a team, the dysfunctions within the team, and kind of how do you overcoming it and getting people on board and working with each other and rowing in the same direction, right? So definitely a good book there. A CEO Only Does Three Things by Trey Taylor. Good book. Just kind of gives you a mindset, things you should be focusing on. You ever heard that concept of, hey, when you do something for the day, prioritize, your top three things, delegate others. Kind of on that lines, very similar concept. So definitely another good book to read. And then I read The Rock by Milford Beagle Jr. And that one was special for me just because I had been a subordinate of General Beagle, my in my army life. So definitely, I hold a lot of respect for him and what he's done in his leadership philosophy. He actually he was that leader who would push me to new boundaries. He really pushed me my thinking and didn't let me settle into a comfort zone. As I started learning new skills and gaining new skills, he pushed it to the next level, pushed it to the next level, and he had that way about it where it was just really enjoyable because it wasn't that very like coming down with a hammer style. And all leaders have their style of leading, and we as subordinates all have our style of learning. And but sometimes I don't always need the hammer brought down on me, but believe me, plenty of times I do. So he had that kind of intelligence to him that he could figure out what each person needed and the style of leadership and learning they needed for a particular task, right? So each task he approached it differently, based on the needs of the individual. So I have a lot of respect for him. And then kind of some of the reading I did that wasn't in that learning focusing mode, it was just to sort of get away. There's a great series. It's really long. It's called The Expeditionary Force by Craig Alanson. I love it. For all you sci-fi nerds out there, this is great, especially for those of you who have served in the military, because there's a lot of military humor into it. So definitely recommend Expeditionary Force. It's a balance of that sci-fi and that military humor. All fiction. just great story. Loved them. So I'll probably be continuing that series going into 2024. But I already got my first book for 2024 to get me going, and I picked up The Infinite Game by Simon Sinek. I definitely love his works. I love hearing him talk. I love watching his TED Talks and just, that kind of mentality he brings to leadership and what he, how he approaches people and problems and, the way he's able to kind of dissect everything, pull it apart and re-put it back together. So brilliant man, brilliant leader. I love following him. So that's the start of my 2024 books. I have a few others in mind. Haven't solidified if they're going to make it right away or if they'll come later in the year. Again, part of it is I want to hear from you guys. What's on your reading lists and, kind of what are the things you're getting into. I also do follow the Army Chief of Staff's reading list. I pay attention to a lot of the books that they're recommending, and as well as Bill Gates. I like to follow. I have Bill Gates' newsletter, Arnold Schwarzenegger's newsletter. I love watching them. Actually, I think Arnold Schwarzenegger's book is going to be one of my next ones. I had that feeling. He just published a book here in 2023, so definitely probably one I'm going to be checking out for sure. So let me hear from you. What's on your guys' reading list? What do you guys read? What do you get into? What helps you? What kind of sparks that creative insight? What gives you new insights? What do you read to learn? You know, what are you doing out there? Because hey, reading is a very fundamental thing, but it does. A lot of people overlook that kind of just sparks those new ideas, that new way of thinking, that ingenuity and stuff. So I want to hear from you. What's going on out there, and if maybe if one of your 2024 goals is to get into reading, I would love to hear from you too. Would love to help you out in establishing that and getting going, and you know where you begin, because I'll tell you what, growing up, reading was not my jam. I was not a big reader. So definitely took a lot of good mentoring, good coaching, and good leaders throughout my time to really get that in, that reading part into me and spark that journey. So would love to help anyone else where I can in that journey. I would love to talk to you guys about your reading lists and what you read for 2023 and what you're planning on reading for 2024. And let's get this conversation going. I want to hear all about it and get excited for what the future brings, because 2024, we're going to rock it. Especially because a lot of you guys are out there already crushing it. You're already in 2024 and smashing goals and doing those things. So, let me catch up to you amazing people, and let's get this boat rowing. So, all right, can't wait to hear from you guys. As always, I'm here for you whenever you need me, even if you just want to jam out, hang out, talk, whatever the case. Always here for you guys. You're a great part of my team, and I want to make sure you guys are taken care of. So, all right, can't wait to hear from you. As always, stay good.